As a lifelong contractor and the owner of one of the best marketing companies for contractors, every single day I talk to someone new about how they can get more customers, how they can market their company better. And every conversation I have is about that. Like, I want to make more money. I'm going to do that by getting more customers. In order to get more customers, I need more leads. And in order to get leads, I need marketing. That's the conversation we have. And it's very common to go through all this stuff and explain how it works, because that's the first step. Like, you need to understand how this stuff works. That's what this whole channel is about. But eventually we get to the cost. How much does this stuff cost? And usually it costs thousands of dollars. Let's just say 5,000. Like, 5,000 is a very normal amount for a company who's new to marketing to spend to get up to speed. And a lot of times when I say $5,000, people's jaw hits the ground and they're like, oh my God, I could never pay that. And so let's talk about it for a minute, because a lot of this is math, it's numbers. Like, I'm on my calculator all the time running numbers, but I didn't always do that. I didn't love math in school, and it took me a lot longer than it should have. Like, I'm talking like 7 or 8 years in business before I really started to comprehend the numbers. And before that, I was just kind of shooting from the hip. Get a customer, do a good job, all the rest will work itself out. And I was lucky that most of it worked out, but I made a lot of big mistakes because I wasn't paying attention to the numbers. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about it, because if you hear $5,000 and your jaw hits the ground and you're like, that's way too much, I can never afford that, then either you're so new to business that you're basically like a baby crawling around on the floor, like you don't really know what's going on. Either that, or your business model is not good, or it's not good for marketing. So let's start with that one. So, like, bad business model. So let's use the example of a landscaper. So, like, let's say we have a landscaper and they charge $250 for their average service, $250. And they could handle, let's just say, like 2 customers a day, 5 days a week. So that's 10 jobs. And so that's $2,500 a week revenue if they can get those 10 jobs and do them. 2 jobs a day, 5 days a week, 10 jobs at $250. That's $2,500. And if they do that every week, 4 weeks a month, then they're at $10K a month. And that's revenue. So let's say that they hire a helper, they have a truck payment, they pay insurance, they do all this, and that their monthly expenses on all this stuff are $5,000. So $5K expenses. So that means that they're left over with $5,000 a month profit. So that's their income. That's $60K a year. All right, now let's say that they go and they talk to another landscaper in their area, bigger company, been around forever, and then this company tells them that they pay, let's just say $25 a lead per lead, and it takes 10 leads to get a job. Like, they're buying them from Angie or something. So 10 leads to get a job, so get money. So that means that it's $250 to get a customer. And that's just the cost. That doesn't factor all the time it took this person to call every single lead, sometimes multiple times, go give an estimate, all that. This is just how much money it cost to get that customer. And so straight across, we can see a problem here, because it cost this guy $250 to get the job, and he's charging $250. So he's basically breaking even. He's not making any money. And over time, he's going to go in the negative because he still has to pay that $5,000 a month. So this is a really simplified example of like a business model where you can't afford marketing because your business model is not good enough. It's just not going to work. Like, how could this guy make this work? Well, he could double his price and charge $500, and then he's left with the same equation after his customer acquisition cost. And so that could be a way to change that. And so that person with a bad model, like, they have to change something or it's just never going to work. And this is like a small percentage of the people I talk to, because most people don't really know what their business model is. They don't know their numbers. But someone could come to me and just say, hey, like, it's going to cost you this much to get a customer, and I know immediately if that's worth it or not. So let's look at the other side. So I don't want to offend anybody, but this is like you're a baby crawling around on the ground and you don't understand that your business model is good, but you haven't wrapped your head around actually paying for customers yet. So let's just use the same example, except let's say now that this guy is charging $1,000, and it's still 50% profit. So now what is this, 1,000, that's 10K a month or a week. So that would be 40K a month. So it's a lot more money, right? Like immediately you know that if you've got 40K coming in, you can handle spending more. But let's say that right now he's not doing 10 jobs a week, he's only doing 2. And he wants to do 10. That's like the max he could do. So he wants to get to 10K a week, but he's currently at 2K a week. And let's just like assume that this 250 is the same. And so you tell him, hey, it's $25 a lead. It takes about 10 leads to get a job. That's $250 a customer. There's a lot of guys I talk to that'd be like $250 a customer or like $25 a lead. I'm not going to pay for a lead unless I'm guaranteed to get the job. And like, that's just not how it works. Like you can't, if that was the case, then leads would cost 10 times as much if it was guaranteed, right? So you always have to take a risk. But let's say that this guy needs to spend $5,000 to get going. Like he doesn't have any marketing, doesn't have anything. He wants a professional to do it. It's going to cost $5,000. And he's like, that's way too much. There's no way I could ever afford $5,000. Well, let's just run those numbers really quick. Like let's say he spends the 5K. So he spends 5, he's down $5,000. And he's doing 2 jobs a week. So let's say that after a few months, he gets up to 3 jobs a week. His marketing's starting to work. He gets an extra job every week. So now he's at 3. So he went from 2,000 to 3,000. He just increased his revenue by 50% by doing 1 more job. This guy, if he's making 500 profit per job, he needs to sell 10 jobs to pay for that. And so the question, like once you understand and you believe that this is how it works and that you believe if you actually spend that $5,000, you're going to be able to get customers. Then the only question is, well, how many customers am I going to need to get to pay for this? And if you're making 500 per customer, you're going to need 10 to pay for this. And so when you're talking to someone like me, or you're thinking about doing something yourself, think through these numbers. Like how many jobs? It'll take me 10. How long do I think it'll take for me to get 10 jobs from this? Maybe it'll take 3 months. Okay, so then in 3 months, you're breaking even on your investment. 3 more months goes by, you're up 5,000. And this is how it works in every situation when you're investing in your business and anticipating that investment will pay off in the future. This is a realistic expectation. To take 3 months to recoup your costs on something, that's reasonable. It's not reasonable to say, well, I'll spend 1,000 now, but I expect to make that 1,000 back tomorrow. Like I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's unreasonable. Because if it was that easy, then everyone would do it, and then it wouldn't work anymore. And that's exactly the whole market, the whole business landscape. It's you and the other companies, and you're all competing for the same customers. And if it costs $5,000, that's because that's how much it's valued in the market. Somebody else is willing to pay it, so that's how much it costs. If no one was willing to pay it, it'd be cheaper. And so I don't know. I hope that's helpful. Like I mentioned it in the last video, but go get ChatGPT, go get Claude AI. Use these tools, talk to it about your numbers, because those AIs now are super smart. They can walk you through how all this math works. It can walk you through different scenarios. It can help you figure out, like, if you are going to invest $5,000, what do you need to get out of it and in how long? And what makes sense for you and what doesn't? And is your business model even capable of investing what is required in order to grow and to beat your competitors? Because you might be sitting around with a bad business model and you want to find that out as soon as possible, because it's easy to spend 10 years doing something and then realize like that the foundation wasn't good the whole time. There's millions of different business models out there. There's plenty of people who spend $5,000 and then turn around and make 20, 25 grand in a few months. Happens all the time. The only way for you to do something like that is to educate yourself on this stuff and learn how these numbers work. I promise you, if you do that, you won't have to watch this video again. So if you thought that was helpful, hey, drop a comment. Give us a little bit of insights on your own equation. Like some of you who watch my channel, you're very seasoned business owners. You've been marketing a long time. You know how much money you spend. You know how much money you make. Share a little bit of details if you don't mind, so that the guys who are new to this can see that and see that other people are doing it and help build their confidence that they can do it too. It means a lot when I know it always means a lot to me when I see somebody else like me doing something that I want to do. So share your experience. It'd mean a lot to me. It'll mean a lot to your fellow contractors. As always, there's a link in the description, maybe a link in a comment. You can go and get my help. I'll take a look at your stuff. I'll help you run some of your numbers. And whether I'm helping you one-on-one or I'm helping you as part of a group, go and check that out. One way or another, we'll get you headed in the right direction.